Okay, so we've got our full set of stencils for the supply bag. And when there's, like, I've got this masked off so that just the A comes through when we're using the stencil. But before we start that, I'm gonna cover up some of this because I want to be able to modify it a bit. And since I've already got this and it kind of matches the color here, I want to cover up the Halo stuff, the Master Chief, mostly because it doesn't really fit with the setting. And I want it to, you know, just be kind of a generic post-apocalyptic messenger bag. So let's do that. And what we're doing is we're just adding a little color depth here so that it's irregular. And when you apply heavy brush strokes, you'll get more stuff like that. But if you're light with it, you'll just get a little bit of pigment. So, since I would like this to be a little irregular, I would like there to be some color to kind of offset how kind of basic and drab this all is. So I'm gonna come in with this blue. And so the cool part about this is these are all like samples that I picked up for super cheap. So I don't have to worry too much about them. And well, this is gonna be a one-off. So that's the one challenge there. But and if you happen to have like another project nearby, you can use that to dry off your brushes. And like, this is a chip brush. It's not gonna be immaculate. And it's gonna kind of fall apart when you use it, but that's okay. And I'm gonna get a little, well, you know, I think I'll try and retain some of this blue. So I will pour a little in here. Oh. Okay. And where am I gonna drip this? Drip it on here. That'll work. So this is just a little bit of highlight color. To give this a little life. And this is gonna be kind of overdone initially, and then we're gonna come back over it with a dark color. And this little dash of color you know, we can make up stories about it. We can say that, you know, maybe it was a pre-fall like dye pack, and we can add some color in here. Because why not? I've got some blue to spread around. And makes it a little less boring. We're gonna let that dry. Not sure if you can tell, but it looks like Master Chief came back. But I want to get that sorted out, so let's get started. Make sure we got all our letters. And if you're missing a letter, as long as you can mostly spell it out, you're good. Because this is the apocalypse, and sometimes we have to improvise. So, pigment. I like brown for this. One, because I have brown. Well, this is nutmeg brown. It's a little bright, but that actually works in our favor. I like these little spongy brushes for doing the stencil work, because you can just push down with them. You don't want the sponge too overloaded. And this is just acrylic paint. It's not it is not like fabric paint or anything, so it'll do whatever job it will do. And we'll see how this works. Maybe this looks great, maybe it doesn't. We'll find out. Ugh. That is a dingy S. But once we get it across, maybe it'll brighten up a bit. Or we can just use more pigment. Yeah. Move on to the U. And so part of this is making sure that the lines are as crisp as you can manage, and that means holding it down. You can use, like, you can tape this down or whatever, but you want to push straight down on it, not like brush in from the side, so that you don't risk kind of smearing it around and making the lines less crisp. Like, you can make the lines less crisp if you want. Like, this is supposed to be kind of, you know, an after the apocalypse thing. So I'm gonna do one of my favorite things to do in DR, and that's deliberately misspell something. Or use the wrong version of a word. I like that too. And just kind of like spreading, like adding some tension across, means that it'll be pressed down on this fabric. And if you're not too
Like if you don't make it too wet, too damp, you'll be able to use this stencil again and again. If not, you might wind up having to replace them pretty frequently. These are just made out of cardboard. I picked them up at the hardware store. There's also versions of these that can be found at craft stores. If you can find vinyl or plastic, you'll be doing good. But these are the ones I had. So supply is SUPPLY, but for our purposes, it's just gonna have the one L. I've been kind of caking this. Okay, so this one's done. It has some stencil work, some acrylic and different pigment on it to kind of make it look like it is not fresh. It is still structurally sound. None of your stuff's gonna fall out of it. This is the first one. We'll be showing off some new techniques in the next one. And you know, hopefully you learned some new stuff. If not, please let me know what things you would like to know in the comments, and look forward to sharing more of these with you. So see you in the wasteland.